4 years ago, in 2008, the country was plunged deep into an economic recession caused by numerous factors. The primary one being the housing market crash, and the auto industry was at the brink of collapse. This was by far the worst we've had besides the Great Depression. The unemployment rate of the nation surged. Several months prior to today, it wavered around 9.58 to 8%. Currently, the national unemployment rate is 8.1%, a huge low considering that in January 2011, everything got better. Unemployment was at its astonishing 9.8%. The last 30 months, everything got better. Automobile industry came roaring back, and houses came to rise. Yes, the unemployment rate has decreased since the recession. However, there is much work to be done. Not only is there demand for more jobs in the U.S., there's also an issue of national debt, $16 trillion. In order to help reduce this deficit, the national must tackle two issues simultaneously. Fortunately, reducing the deficit and providing jobs for America go in hand. As my opponent, Governor Romney, stated during the recent debate, there are three ways you can cut a deficit. One is to raise taxes, number two is to cut spending, and number three is to grow the economy. In this regard, he is correct. However, the proper approach to reducing the debt is not by contributing more to already successful minority of the country. Instead, a more natural solution must be implemented. Increase the profit of the majority and stimulate the economy, create jobs, and help put money in everyone's pockets. Increasing the profit of the majority is simple and instinctual: lower taxes. In a recovering economy riddled with debt, cutting taxes for the middle class will provide them more with spending to contribute back towards the national revenue. Already I have reduced taxes for 98% of families and have lowered taxes for small businesses 18 times. This extra money that the middle class spends will boost your small businesses by allowing them funds to hire more workers with. This is a clear and efficient solution to creating more jobs in America. Instead of hypothetically closing tax loopholes and revoking deductions, expanding the pockets of middle class will allow the economy to gain health from middle out, not from the top down. Thank you.
And Governor Romney.
All right. Good morning, fellow Americans. Today is a great day in America. But even though we are in this great country of ours, we still live in a time of great urgency and importance. America is on the brink of financial failure. President Obama's plans for taxes just builds upon the deficit. He increases the size of the government and raises taxes over $250,000, and those are the $250,000 he promised to get rid of. My plan requires making the government more efficient and not adding any tax that will add to the deficit. Vote for me and I'll fix the problems of Obama's administration. Let's face it, America. Let's face it, we're in a financial crisis. In the past, I've been able to pull large corporations from financial disasters, and I know what the president doesn't. Economic growth is the answer to our problems, not more taxes. Since the president took office, he has added $1 trillion a year to the deficit, and 15 million more Americans are now on food stamps. There are 23 million Americans out of the job, and I believe this is not the America you guys all want to live in. I want to encourage economic growth by lowering marginal rate as well as cutting down on deductions, exemptions, and credit. By doing this, small business thrives and creates new jobs. Small businesses are the heart of America, and if they fail, we fail, and that is why we cannot add taxes and kill small businesses. Now, all respect to Mr. President, but if I was to take office, I would take out all government programs that do not meet a simple requirement. Are they so critical they are worth borrowing money from China? And if not, I will cut them in the means of Obamacare and many other good but not good enough government programs. Not only am I cutting down on spending, but I'm keeping America safe as the world becomes more and more dangerous. America has to prepare for the wars of tomorrow, and I support military advancements because it keeps us all safe. I also want to send government programs down to the state level because they know what their citizens need better than the federal government and can use every Medicare dollar more efficiently. I will also combine many government departments so that they can be more efficient and cost effective. I promise to the American people that if I were to be elected, I would show you in America not seen in ages, and I'll show you an America that is filled with success, innovation, morality, and most of all, wealth.
So, starting with our question, President Obama, Looking at this graph of income tax rates, explain how your tax reform will benefit the country. Sorry, wrong way. Yeah.
Okay, well, I honestly believe in the Buffett rule. If you're part of the rich and you're making over $100,000, 30% of it should be into taxes. The middle class shouldn't have any tax reduction because they don't need tax reduction because they're the middle of our America. If they do good, we're doing good. And I honestly believe that we should all be equal in tax reductions. So we shouldn't have more people paying more taxes than the other, so everything could be equal. That's mine.
And Governor Romney, same question, looking at this graph of income tax rates, explain how your tax reform will benefit the country.
All right, so for me, my plan is stimulating economic growth and not raising any taxes. There shouldn't be any one person paying more taxes than another. But my plan is basically, I'm going to grow the economy. I'm not going to make people pay more taxes just because they have more money. That's not fair to those people who have more money. The tax rates on Obama are much higher than what if I would want. So it's not fair to those who have money. Just because they have money, have to pay more money. Just because you don't make as much money doesn't mean you should be paying a less percentage, if that makes sense. Everybody should be paying an equal percentage, not necessarily amount, because amount and percentage wouldn't be the same. But they should all be paying an equal percentage.
President Obama, do you have any questions or responses to that?
I want to clear myself up. The middle class does need a tax reduction because we want to tax the rich in order for them to help us out. So, sorry about that. So if you want to, how will your tax cut not add to the deficit? If you said you want everything to be equal, you want everything to be lowered, something has to go up. Some other form of something has to go up in some way. If you're lowering something down. So you're just saying you're raising taxes, correct? And you said you're contradicting yourself. So I'm not understanding how.
Alright, well what I'm saying is I'm not raising any taxes. You're saying you're raising taxes for the rich, so it'll help out the middle class. But if the rich have to pay more taxes, that's less jobs they're creating. So our middle class has less jobs to get if there's less jobs available. So if we don't raise taxes for everybody, if we have it all equal, our rich will have more jobs ready for the middle class to come and get more jobs. And so it won't matter that they're middle class anymore.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next question. For Governor Romney, how would you both go about solving the deficit problem?
Okay, so I have a plan. Okay, so I'm saying this right now. I have helped large companies come out of a financial crisis within a few years. When I was governor of Massachusetts, in 4 years, I helped us out of a $3 billion deficit. So why can't I do that with America?
And President Obama, your response to how would you go about solving the deficit problem?
I have multiple ways to solve this issue. First of all, the only way to reduce our deficit is, again, America does best when the middle class does best. So in reality, we have to lower the taxes for the middle class. Lower the taxes for anybody in the corporate world because the taxes are too high. We also have to close the deficit by reduced spending. And we have to have enough revenue in order to make those investments. We also have to lower taxes for small businesses because if we don't lower it for them, they will be in crunch by paying all this money. In reality, they are the middle of we're working because if we have more money in our pockets, we have money to supply businesses would be working, and businesses wouldn't have debt or wouldn't be paying so much high taxes. We already had a tax relief for middle class people. So we want to keep lowering their taxes in order for them to put more money into our economy so they can help us out.
I'm sorry, Spencer, your time is up.
So, Governor Romney, do you have any response to what President Obama just said?
Okay, so Obama hasn't been Obama has been in office for 4 years, and he hasn't really helped us get out of a financial crisis. We've only come up about $250,000 since the 4 years he's been in office. When I was in Massachusetts, I got us out of a $3 billion deficit in 4 years. So Obama hasn't done, just because he's raising taxes isn't helping us out. It's stimulating economic growth that will help us out of a financial deficit.
So we're going to move on to the next question. So, President Obama, how should government have regulation over businesses?
We are all for small businesses. We both agree on small businesses. We believe it's the center of everything, so we should interfere by lowering their taxes. Like how I said earlier, their taxes should be lowered. We should help them out because they are the ones that help the middle class people.
And Governor Romney, what is your